The Cleveland Browns have released former Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver Deontay Johnson. Johnson came into Browns training camp the favorite to win the team's open slot wide receiver job, but struggled to earn that role and instead fell down the depth chart. Johnson is coming off a whirlwind 2024 season, during which he played for 3 different teams: the Carolina Panthers, Houston Texans, and Baltimore Ravens. The Texans cut Johnson after an outburst in the locker room following the team's playoff win over the Los Angeles Chargers. Johnson was not happy with his usage. A similar story happened to Johnson while he was with the Ravens. Not happy with his usage or targets, Johnson refused to enter a game after being told to do so and was subsequently suspended and later released for conduct detrimental to the team. Before that, the Panthers, who traded him to the Ravens, had not been happy with his locker room presence throughout the 2024 season, prompting their urgency to move on. The Steelers had similar complaints when they moved him during the 2024 offseason to the Panthers in exchange for cornerback Dante Jackson. Johnson was drafted by the team in the 2019 NFL Draft and spent 5 seasons with the Steelers before they traded him to the Panthers. He was in the last year of a 2-year contract this year. There's still a long way to go before the 2026 NFL Draft. But the consensus entering the 2025 NFL season is that it will be surprising if the Pittsburgh Steelers target anything other than quarterback in the first round. The question, though, is which one will the Steelers target? CBS Sports' Mike Renner had a relatively new suggestion in his latest 2026 mock draft released Wednesday: Oklahoma Sooner signal caller John Mateer. John Mateer has arguably the best arm talent in the entire draft class and goes to a division in the AFC North where that's a necessity. He showed growth in his first season as a starter and now has a chance to blow up in his first season with the Sooners after transferring from Washington State, wrote Renner. The Sooners quarterback is quickly rising draft boards, at least according to Renner. The CBS Sports analyst ranked Mateer at number 10 on his newest big board on August 21st. I'd put Mateer's tools up against anyone's in the country, wrote Renner. He ran for more than 1,000 yards in his first year as a starter for Washington State and has an arm that can get the ball 60-plus yards downfield. Could he be the next transfer portal quarterback to have his draft stock go to the moon? At Washington State last season, he completed 64.6% of his passes for 3,139 yards and 29 touchdowns. Mateer led all quarterbacks at independent schools in passing yards and touchdowns while posting an 8-5 record with the Cougars. Mateer scored 15 rushing touchdowns to go with 826 yards on the ground as well. Steelers predicted to draft Oklahoma QB John Mateer as Aaron Rodgers' replacement. Renner's prediction that the Steelers will select a first-round quarterback isn't surprising. First-year Steelers starter Aaron Rodgers recently suggested he could return for 2026. But he will turn 42 years old in December and previously stated over the summer that this fall will be his final NFL campaign. Rodgers is only signed in Pittsburgh to a 1-year contract. More than likely, the Steelers will find Rodgers' replacement in the 2026 class. Renner argued Mateer as a possibility because of his traits. How he performs this season, though, will impact his draft stock. Mateer is entering his first season at Oklahoma. The 2026 draft class is projected to be a deep quarterback class. Renner predicted 5 signal callers to go in the first 13 picks of 2026. In Renner's new mock draft, the Steelers picked Mateer at number 13 overall. Renner didn't mention anything about Pittsburgh trading up to that draft slot. So, the CBS analysts seem to assume the Steelers will finish with a bad enough record to pick at number 13 overall. Pittsburgh's own first-round selection has never been that high in the Mike Tomlin era. The last time the Steelers picked number 13 or higher without having to trade up, the team selected Ben Roethlisberger at number 11 overall in 2004. Could Will Howard still influence Steelers' 2026 draft plans? It's pretty easy to understand why the consensus has the Steelers selecting a first-round quarterback in 2026. No matter what Rodgers and backup quarterback Mason Rudolph do in 2025, the Steelers will need a future franchise quarterback next spring. The only quarterback on Pittsburgh's roster who has a chance to influence the team's 2026 direction is rookie Will Howard. Tomlin suggested Monday that Howard could return soon. It remains to be seen if that means the rookie quarterback will avoid a stint on injured reserve. The expectation, though, remains that Howard will begin the 2025 regular season on IR. If that's the case, his chance of discouraging the team from going with a quarterback in the first round next spring decreases. It's not out of the question, but it's already an uphill battle for Howard to prevent first-round competition from arriving. Howard missed all of the preseason because of a hand injury. The exhibition campaign was likely going to be his best opportunity this year to prove he could develop into a starter. If he receives playing time during the 2025 regular season, then Rodgers and Rudolph are probably going to have to suffer an injury. Even then, Skylar Thompson could start instead of Howard. Thompson was also on Pittsburgh's first 53-man roster Tuesday. In addition to getting an opportunity, Howard will have to play very well to show he's a future NFL starter. Otherwise, the Steelers will enter 2026 as one of the most obvious destinations for a first-round quarterback. As one wide receiver option comes off the board, another is placed on the table. Veteran WR Marquez Valdes-Scantling reportedly picked the San Francisco 49ers over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Kendrick Bourne could join him out west, but NFL insider Jonathan Jones suggests the Steelers could also show interest in the ninth-year veteran. Bourne was released by the New England Patriots today. After a potential trade with the Vikings fell through, WR Kendrick Bourne requested and received his release from the Patriots, source tells at NFL on CBS. Jones tweeted Wednesday. The 49ers, his former team, appear to be a top suitor, but Bourne could draw interest from others like Miami and Pittsburgh. The Vikings traded for Adam Thielen instead of landing Bourne. As a vested veteran, Bourne isn't subject to waivers and can sign with any team. Bourne, 30, has plenty of history with the 49ers. He spent his first 4 years with San Francisco, catching 137 passes over 58 games from 2017 to 2020. He spent the last 4 with the Patriots, snagging 155 passes for nearly 2,000 yards. Last year, he posted a 28/305/1 stat line across 12 games. Injuries have taken a toll, and he started 2024 on the PUP list before being activated during the year. New Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel has spent the summer turning over the roster, but Bourne asked for his release and chance to play elsewhere. Pittsburgh could have interest as the Steelers search for veteran help they don't need to trade for. The teams already met twice with Gabe Davis and had some level of interest in Valdes-Scantling, who chose the 49ers over reuniting with Aaron Rodgers. Bourne is one of the top wide receivers available, but the Steelers have seemingly been searching for downfield playmakers. Davis, when healthy, and Valdes-Scantling are home run hitters. Bourne doesn't fit that mold, managing just 11 yards per catch each of his last 2 seasons. Still, he's a veteran who could round out the roster as Pittsburgh looks to boost its depth chart ahead of Week 1. Right now, most insiders believe Bourne will ultimately join the 49ers, a team in even greater need of receiver help after suffering multiple injuries and losing Demarcus Robinson for the first 3 games due to an NFL suspension.